Come back, it will be game number 4 between Wolves and the Samurai Jeans.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, Game 4 is about to get underway. It is Samurai Jeans currently trailing behind the Copenhagen Wolves 2-1 right now. So, they've gone 1 for 1 each time the blue side. Can Samurai Jeans take it to a 5th game here and a decider, or will Copenhagen Wolves be able to secure their position in the summer LCS 3-1? Let's check out the votes, of course. You can go over to lolesports.com, give us your vote and see who you think will take it. Trevor, what is it? So right now, Copenhagen will still retain the percentage of the vote. 86.7% of you guys think the Copenhagen Wolves will win, whereas only 13.3% of you guys think that the Samurai Jeans will be able to pick up a victory. So holding on that
big number.
Yep. Well, I think their experience is shining through. This has been 3 blue side wins, but more importantly, it's been about the early game. Whichever team has been able to get that advantage early on, they've been able to hold on to it and make the plays happen that keep them in the match.
And their manager for Samurai Jeans has just literally said to us outside, you know, and it's just a pretty standard tactic, is you just need to shut down Bjergsen. That's what they need to do. They couldn't do it in that game because he had that Kha'Zix. We've seen him before on Kha'Zix before, and he's just so strong on it. So, are we expecting a ban there? Because actually it worked. When they had Twisted Fate, they shut him down so well with Fizz.
So one of the reasons that Kha'Zix was locked in
on the side of Bjergsen, even though that Samurai Jeans had the last pick, is because Kha'Zix can counter TF if they wanted to go that route. And instead, Extinct said, look, I feel maybe I'm a little bit more comfortable on a Karthus. So if they do decide to ban out Kha'Zix, they're going to let through Twisted Fate or Zed or Shen or Jarvan, one of these other very high priority picks. So I actually think it'll slide through, and they'll try find counters in a different light.
And the counters, the bans, Singed and Cassidy being taken away from the Copenhagen Wolves, Elise and Malphite taken away from Samurai in Jeans.
Again.
So, Malphite, not surprised there that was taken away. Zac is also banned out this time around. Samurai and Jeans actually the ones that banning out. They did pick it in the last match, but clearly didn't work out too well for Conex, and Zed now being banned. That means Jarvan could be the first pick. Twisted Fate in there. Shen's also in there. It is going to be Youngbuck taking Jarvan, which means I expect to see Shen and maybe even Twisted Fate. Or will they go back with Kha'Zix again?
So you could even see like Shen Varus, for example. Picking a Kha'Zix now very early on may not be the best of ideas. We've seen a number of teams trying to counter. We've seen Pekka trying Kennen. We've seen a number of teams trying Rise against it as well. And we know that the Test has been playing Varus a good fair amount. He did switch over to the Ez in game number 2. So it's one of those hotly contested picks. It's one of those picks that can really just lock you in and you're quite safe. So we'll see what they decide. If it is going to be Svenskeren with Shen, or at least locking it in, I do expect that to be in Gobro's hands.
So Thresh this time. It did work out very well for Deficio in that last game. That hooks, like you mentioned, just at that Baron fight. He went in solo and did manage to put the box down on 4 members, completely locking up Samurai and Jeans just before that fight happened. So they look like they're going to be the solid picks.
In addition to that, the amount of pain that they suffered from Unlimited's Thresh very early on in the series, they actually took to banning it out, and then they took to playing it. So not only is that a good lock-in because of how well Deficio played in the previous game, it's also denying it from Unlimited, taking it away from your opponent. So it's twofold.
We do see, of course, those locked in. What are Samurai and Jeans going to go for? Now they have Twisted Fate available. Will Extinct go for that one? I'm thinking they're going to go for Varus and possibly a support.
They could do Varus Lulu. It is something that we have been seeing quite often. We have been seeing Samurai and Jeans locking in both their AD carries and supports. Alternatively, they could go for something along the lines of a Renekton pick again if they wanted to, or Extinct could buck the trend and go for Orianna. It was banned out by Samurai and Jeans in the previous game.
Yeah, so they were obviously expecting it possibly to come out from Bjergsen, but it didn't. It's Extinct that may well take it. We just saw how game-changing again for Alternate that one single shockwave can be landed, or mega wave I think it should be called, because it caught all 5 of them, and it certainly was shocking for the Giants. But Varus and Orianna are going to be the selections.
So we've got a really good combination of now crowd control and CC, as well as some good splash damage. I'd like to see what they want to combo with this as a support. Probably Lulu would be a very good pick. Going to be able to, you know, put the ball delivery system onto Jarvan, let him dive in there. Then when everybody gets pulled together, you knock them back up again with that wild growth combo. So that was what I'd like to see or expect from Copenhagen Wolves. They're most likely going to go now for their AD carry and probably top laner. I imagine they will leave that mid lane counter pick for the very end, even though they know that Orianna is available, or has been picked rather.
And there is going to be the test. There is going to be Twisted Fate. They're going to go for the double globals. And, well, the test on Ezreal has been successful in the past, but last game...
So this composition is almost identical to game 2, with the exception of
the game they lost as well.
Correct, game they lost. It's the game they were running Sona as a support instead of Thresh. So that's the only change so far. And in the jungle, they had Cho'Gath. So the question is now, are Copenhagen Wolves going to stick Cho'Gath in the jungle again? Or will they go with something like Nasus maybe, who can help deal with that early game pressure and is also very good wave clear?
I expect Cho'Gath probably will come out. They like Cho'Gath.
Yeah, it's definitely one they've played. Nasus is a champion that Svenskeren has played as well in the past a good number of times. Could even buck a trend and go for something like a Xin Zhao, who is a great counter initiator. When Jarvan and Rumble dive into you, can knock them all back.
Well, there's not a great deal of requirement for Wither other than the Varus in there, and it would make sense maybe to go in towards that Cho'Gath with Orianna in there. They could try and lock him down. Rumble's going to be trying to get close.
Yep.
So maybe want to lock him down. Of course, Youngbuck will be looking to jump in there. So it looks like it's going to be Lulu and Rumble selected. This time going to see Youngbuck's Rumble.
So this time around, the fact that Orianna was picked quite early on, you're not going to see that hard counter of Fizz going up against Twisted Fate. So Bjergsen may have a little bit of an easier time making an impact in this game. However, you can see the summoner spells for Extinct has already swapped over to that teleport, meaning he's going to look to replicate his performances from that game too. Going to replicate that map moving ability and become a hard-hitting ball delivery system.
But what helped them out so heavily in that to defend against this Shen and Twisted Fate was the fact they had 2 teleports. They had Malphite in there that could
the hard
initiate,
initiate,
big hard initiate, and Malphite with Unstoppable Force interrupted God
Godbro a number of times from that Stand United.
So they don't have the interrupt this time round. They do have, Rumble that can put a lot of damage down onto Shen, but is not going to be able to stop him from casting that ability. At the moment, he's sitting with Flash and Ignite. So expect if somebody moves, and this is completely off the wall. We have not seen an Eve, and this will be an Eve jungle from Sven. The only Eve jungle we've seen in the LCS was from Diamond Prox in week 10.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, nor was I. That went completely off guard. The thing this is an interesting comp.
This is dangerous because Eve can either snowball hard or fail really hard.
Yes, you either kill everything or get killed. There is no in between. The one thing that does work out really nicely about having an Eve, it immediately forces Samurai and Jeans to spend more money on pink wards. So they're going to be behind in gold in the early game. Once you get to ultimate, the combo of the Agony's Embrace plus Destiny plus True Shot Barrage, etc., it's a very scary combination. And in that previous game, in game 2 where they lost, Cho'Gath was not a damage threat. He was not a source of fear. Eve will be a source of fear. And that's where they feel the maybe weakness was in that composition.
Well, of course, we are about to get underway. It will be game 4, ladies and gentlemen. There's Youngbuck on your screen. Pressure on him is obviously last time around Renekton didn't quite work out. This time he's going to be on Rumble. We'll see how that works in their favor. They have to, of course, win this game. Copenhagen Wolves just one game away now from securing their position and becoming the 7th team in the LCS, retaining their place in the LCS. They would be the only team so far to retain that position as well, because already it is Alternate who have knocked out Giants. Yeah, it was yesterday, and that was an epic as well, 3-2. Yeah. And really a very long, hard-fought match. If you've missed that one, feel free to check it out at lolesports.com. And of course, this morning we've seen Sinners Never Sleep taken down Against All Authority in convincing fashion, 3-0. Very strong match for them. Meet Your Makers and Dragonborns, that will be coming up once this match concludes. And that is, of course, going to be a tense match for the Dragonborns. They're up against a highly touted Meet Your Makers team. We'll see how that works out for them.
And that's definitely a matchup that many people are unsure exactly how it's going to go. Many people are saying Dragonborns have been scrimming and they may actually be able to upset the apple cart, as it were, and take down MYM. MYM are looking for revenge, but that is later in the day. If the Copenhagen Wolves pick up a victory here and go 3-1 in the series, that will be the next game. If not, it'll be after game number 5. And with an Eve on your team, you may expect a little bit more level 1 shenanigans. Having that aura of stealth, the ability to remain unseen unless you're in range of your opponents, is always going to play into your favor.
But they're not actually going too aggressive. Svenskeren has got... No, he's not got any wards, so... Not looking to go too deep, and they're actually standing their grounds here. Samurai and Jeans instead are putting their wards out, and are they thinking, where is Svenskeren going to go?
Right, Svenskeren, in terms of his lanes, going to start off first and foremost, probably around that blue buff, going to need to get that regen on mana and cooldown reduction to spam out those hate spikes all day long, and that's obviously just going to increase his clear time. Eve is not a tanky jungler at all, so in comparison to Jarvan, it's going to be very squishy, but will have a very powerful initiation tool with that Agony's Embrace. Going to give a very big shield. I believe it's 225 HP per champion hit. So if you hit 3 or 4 people, that is a massive HP shield that needs to get burned through, and that will allow him to survive those shockwaves. So we'll see how quickly Sven can get to 6 before he starts maybe putting pressure on lanes.
It's important to also note the fact that the way the lanes are actually going to be standard for this game by the looks of it. We do see Godbro and Youngbuck going to be facing off against each other in that top lane, which means it's going to obviously, of course, be Extinct for Bjergsen in that mid lane. I say of course, we don't actually see a great deal of switch-arounds for that mid lane lately. We haven't seen any of it in the amateur series.
So in terms of the mid laners, I think we've seen one duo lane going mid over the course of the entire weekend. But yeah, it's not something we've seen often. And I'm trying to remember, somebody didn't do it against Castellan. It may have been against Authority earlier in game 1 of their series where they didn't put their dual lane against the Castellan. And they should have, because that would have helped them so much in that regard. But nevertheless, it is something that you do tend to learn and practice and get used to when you are training in a professional environment. And that's what one of these teams will continue to do. Whoever picks up the victories. Svenskeren's got that blue buff, and he's still got Smite available when he moves over to red.
Yeah, the ball going out, not quite landing on towards Bjergsen. He'd be looking to avoid that. That's why he's obviously bought those boots. Wants to avoid that attack ball coming towards him. Svenskeren's going to be clearing out those wraiths. We'll see what his path is going to be. He's going to be heading towards that blue buff. Meanwhile, Cotenex is actually ahead in terms of farm, and he has taken down the blue buff already. Red buff will be picked up by Svenskeren.
So he's going to be able to clear that one out very quickly. When combined with a gold card or a Shadow Dash Taunt, there's a lot of CC, and then that will buy the time for him to deal damage with that Ravage, the auto attacks, and the hate spike. So if Godbro gets a nice taunt here, maybe first blood, and a very nice catch onto Freeze.
A great hook there, and that's exactly what Unlimited did on Deficio last time around and caused so many problems. This time Freeze not so upset about it and continues on farming.
So right now, Freeze lost a lot of his HP. You'll see he's got that Doran's Blade, and he's currently sitting on 8% or 9% lifesteal, so going to be pulling that back a lot. So it's a lot of lifesteal in his runes masteries. Obviously, he'll have to auto-attack to get that HP back.
Yeah, Svenskeren looked to come in towards that top lane, but there was a ward in place there. He's got that double buff on. He's going to try and make some kills, and that's a problem for the Samurai and Jeans. They're going to have to invest heavily in basically keeping vision on him.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can't quantify because it's such an ever-present problem. Not only do you have to spend the money on the pink wards, you've always got to be afraid of that Eve moving into your lane. Now, Youngbuck's got a massive, massive creep wave in front of him, and we'll be farming that up and getting as many last hits as possible.
I'm intrigued how this is going to work out. This is the first time, really, they've had a proper straight-up 1v1 from level 1. The hook comes out again from Deficio, this time catching the leading minion. Godbro, of course, we've seen his Shen in the past. It did get shut down earlier on in the series, but in the past it has been tremendous, even up against the likes of Evil Genius and Gambit.
So the thing about Godbro Shen is he sort of responds, he reacts to when things are happening, as opposed to forcing that stand united. What you'll end up seeing is Svenskeren or Bjergsen going into a lane, making a play, and then saying, come, stand united on top of me, as opposed to using it to save somebody when they get jumped on, you know? So it's an interesting playstyle. He often actually falls behind on his Shen, but always pulls it back in the mid game. It's an ability that the Copenhagen Wolves have to always keep Godbro relevant. Right now, Svenskeren stuck up there. That is not a pink ward, so Youngbuck has no idea that Tango Evelyn is there. So with that red buff, may be able to get a good slowdown onto Rumble.
Their stealthiness, is it going to get worn off in time? Youngbuck's getting close, and you can see the warning sign going up there. Svenskeren, though, nope. Not gonna go for
I'm
it.
pretty sure because of the ward in the bush, and because he was within range, that exclamation mark coming up, he may have spotted Eve,
nope.
But I'd have to double check that whether or not it actually goes
red,
through
doesn't it? I may be wrong.
I'm not sure. I haven't played Eve in a very, very long time, but we'll double check right now.
He's going to double check.
We'll double check the replay at the moment. Nevertheless, he just stood there, wasted a little bit of time, and he's going to go farm up that double golem camp. Yeah, so is confirmed. Because of the range and that he had vision in the bush, he knew Eve was there. So really nice play from Youngbuck, but a little bit lucky as well, because of course that ward was timing out.
It was timing out. Pink ward gets placed down there. Copenhagen Wolves saw that go down, so they're going to know that the bottom lane is warded up, and it's not going to be a place that Svenskeren can sneak into this time around either. There's going to be the hail of arrows landing on towards the test. That's going to slow him down a little bit, but it's not really going to be any damage coming out. The Q missing on towards Unlimited there. Let's have a look towards the mid lane. We haven't had a great deal of vision on this one right now. Bjergsen versus Extinct. Very strong mid laners here, both of them, honestly. We did see, actually, you know, the likes of Tabs that he's on. His Sinners Never Sleep has made it into the LCS, but he's not playing in the mid lane because, frankly, Nuke played astoundingly well. Yep. So they actually have potentially two awesome mid laners on that team. And obviously Tabs, well, who he gave him MVP, he played a fantastic AD carry. So it just shows, and actually he's on his Facebook, the fact that there's so many strong mid laners in Europe right now that actually they're kind of having to move to these AD positions.
Yeah, it's that we really revolve around our mid lane players. In terms of European teams, it's up to the mid laners that do tend to sort of carry games and set things up, and that's why this evolution of such great players has happened, because there's one or two good ones that push everybody, and everyone else wants to strive to be at that level. Right now, Svenskeren is level 5. He still does not have that Agony's Embrace. He's going to walk over a green ward. He has the Destiny, and they jump on Youngbuck.
They're going to go for him this time. The flash stun card will go down. Is it going to be enough damage? They're going to have to go in towards the turret. It's going to be the Shadow Dash coming in. There's going to be the Equalizer, and that's a great shockwave as well. And it's going to be Extinct. It gets in there, and first blood will go to Youngbuck.
What an amazing teleport from Extinct. He manages to land in the middle of the lane, uses that shockwave, pulls Godbro towards him, and manages to secure first blood for Rumble, who was the man, who was the target of 3 members of the Copenhagen Wolves. Godbro needed to get that taunt earlier. He reacted a tiny bit late to that particular gank, and because he didn't lock him up under the turret, he didn't get away.
And look at the reactions as well. Samurai in pajamas come straight in and get that blue buff as well. Koenig's taking that one away. And this is a great start for Samurai and Jeans.
Yeah, so really, really good beginning to this matchup. The first blood plus the steal, denying that from Twisted Fate's going to play well. Now, Svenskeren is trying a steal of his own. He does have pretty good damage, burning through that mana pool, and it doesn't look like anybody is moving to challenge. So he is going to steal away that blue buff, and I suppose all's fair in Love and War.
All's fair in Love and War indeed. And Kotenex now with that red buff. Is he going to try and create any opportunities in this mid lane? Bjergsen didn't really work out for him. Has gone back and bought those Sorcerer's Shoes. We look towards the middle, we see Extinct. He's going towards that Athene's and Holy Grail. Freeze, of course, got that BF sword on him. They're going to be very, very strong, the AD champion down that bottom lane. Has gone back to buy the test, going back. I expect him to probably work towards the Spirit Visage, which tends to be a standard, and there it is.
Yeah, Spirit of the Elder Lizard, that kiting ability. We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant.
Well, he could just get some regen, but it'd be a weird item to have on an AD
It would
carry.
be a little bit strange. We've actually seen it once or twice in the LCS towards the end of the year, where there's double AD, end of the year, wow. The end of the split.
It feels like a year.
Those double AP comps were coming into it, but for the time being, he's going to go for that kiting ability, and I actually think that's going to be very effective against an Orianna with relatively short-range spell costs, as well as that Jarvan and the Rumble. Going to just keep them backed away, keep them away from them, and diving on them onto them to deal all the damage. Thanks to the Twisted Fate passive, that first blood gold is evened up just because of the CS.
Feels like a year. 12 weeks is all it's been, though. Can you believe it? Just 3 months stacked in.
The second split's going to be even more action-packed.
It's going to be heavily action-packed, that one, of course. That's going to be a tense affair building up towards that Summoners Cup final. That's what everybody wants to be at. That's what all these teams are really trying to get their money aside. It is all about winning that trophy. I'm sure the prize at the end of the day is going to help.
It helps a little bit, but everyone wants to be the best. You want to be the #1 League of Legends team in the world.
Just look at the Type A Assassins right now. They got their own skins.
Oh, I can't wait to see them. They look fantastic. We did a little segment on them a little while ago, and they look really, really good. Right now, though, this is Samurais and Jeans and Copenhagen Wolves. They'll be looking to qualify for LCS, then qualify for the World Championships, and then try to actually win them later this year. But that is many, 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 many games ahead of us.
Many, many, many games. Oh, he's going to get spotted. He's walking straight towards the pink ward here, Svenskeren. He's actually going to turn back on towards Kotenex. He's like, I can take you. No, you
Yeah, he
not.
won that trade so incredibly
You
well.
don't go against a woman that's got that many high heels on.
No, not at all. They hurt really, really hard when they're kicking you in the head. That hate spike plus the ravages, just those fingernails and claws digging through the armor of Kotenex's Jarvan. And that actually bodes well for the Copenhagen Wolves. If you think that if Eve is able to sort of out-duel 1v1 against Jarvan, obviously that's going to set them up very well for some mid-game team fights.
Yeah, of course, the fact that he's got those 2 longswords did help him out there. Youngbuck, though, he's up against Godbro. He had fell behind in CS. Obviously, they did manage to get that kill. He got the first blood on him, which will keep that gold advantage in his favor. You can see he's backed up. There's double...
Null Magic
Mantles, that's the word I'm after. Why do we always forget the Null Magic Mantle name?
I didn't.
Me and Joe always do. It must be a thing.
It's a boring name. Null.
Yeah,
It's a negative start.
We
But
don't tend to talk about it either.
the one thing that works out for them is even though he's a little bit behind in CS, he picked up that KGs like he picked very, very early on. Now, we do see that
Going top.
Bjergsen's moving towards the top lane. And one thing I wanted to point out that Jason has said a number of times today, if somebody is stealthed up, when you have that Stand United going on a target, it will be an invisible Stand United. Combine that with the frenzy movement speed that Eve's going to get from a W running into a fight, it is a great Shen Taunt delivery system that you can get into any of these team fights.
The Shen Taunt delivery system. I like that. I like that word. That's an interesting phrase that I may use in the past. As it stands, though, in the past, I don't want to use it in the past. I'm going to backdate myself. Re-record a couple of VODs, because I've not had enough this season. Of course, I did miss 2 weeks of the European LCS, so I could go back and record it all.
That would be a good idea. We could also get the equalism into those
Dub
ones.
myself over Freak's voice.
With the Rumble and a Jarvan in this particular matchup, we will actually be seeing the equalisms coming down, and I sincerely hope you will work that into the play-by-play.
Of course I will, of course I will. It is now a thing. The bottom lane, though, that's where the pressure's coming out. It's going to be the Copenhagen Wolves. They're trying to shove it on there. Here comes the duo pairing of Freeze and Unlimited. Together they are Front Limited.
Limited. I can work with that. Right now, Front Limited is falling behind in CS, about 20-odd behind the test, but that is a very, very big creep wave. So that will drop it down to probably about an 8 or 9 difference once they're all picked up. Overall, though, it's a pretty even start. 3,400, 3,800 gold. It's just that Twisted Fate passive that is helping the test get that extra long sword worth of gold ahead of his counterparts.
Bjergsen keeping that pressure down, but look, he's actually behind in CS right now. Extinct doing a fantastic job, of course. That shockwave that he went and teleported in towards that top lane worked wonders for him. He does have teleport available once again. Here's going to be Bjergsen with the blue buff, though. Let's see where those destinies take him in the next few minutes. 13 minutes into this game, not a great deal of movement outside the lane phase, of course, because they did set up those standard meta lanes, does mean the towers are not going to be falling, tumbling ever so quickly like they normally do.
What we do see from the Samurai and Jeans this time around is they're also playing it very, very passive. They haven't tried to set up ganks. They haven't had Cotnex try to make plays happen. And cast your mind back to yesterday against the Nexus game 2. They were very passive, very controlled. They farmed themselves into the mid/late game and went, right, now we'll fight, we'll destroy you, and we'll win the game. Thank you, come again. And that's looking like what they want to do.
Well, that's what Extinct needs to do on Orianna. Of course, we saw it with Pharrell Lord yesterday. Once Orianna gets stronger and stronger and stronger, those balls, those...
Oh, Destiny's being channeled.
It's going in towards the mid lane, actually. He's going on towards Extinct and just backfired on him there. They thought they could lock him up, but Extinct managed to get away from that one. Flash was burned. Nevertheless, he does get away with it.
And Svenskeren didn't use Agony's Embrace, so with the ultimate not being down to hold Extinct in place, I feel like that was where a lot of the damage was missing. Instead, Destiny for Flash, another trade that Copenhagen Wolves will be happy with. And right now, it looks like Svenskeren's moving to set up for another blue buff steal. He stole the previous one because his was taken, and this might be gifted over to Bjergsen.
Yeah, we can see them all moving in there. Konex is coming around the side, spots out Bjergsen, Cataclysm on towards him, but it's not going to be enough. He does get the blue buff. That's going to be Svenskeren. There's going to be the pink wall coming down, but it's going to be a 3-on-2. But here comes, can Extinct try and join in towards it? He's going to come in there. There's going to be the shockwave on himself. Pulls Godbro in towards him. Konex taken very low. Simply defensive duties used there. They may well try and catch on towards this one. We're going to see a shadow now. Max Ranch gets on towards Extinct. Can goes on towards Konex. Yeah, the wildcard lands, and suddenly Svenskeren smells blood. Flashes for it. Does get it. Very nicely played, and the Copenhagen Wolves go 2 for 0.
So a very good taunt coming out of Godbro there. That was a flash shadow dash taunt. They managed to catch it out. They managed to get 2 kills as well as that blue buff steal, and that was Samurai and Jeans trying to make the play. Extinct missed that shockwave. It only hit Godbro. The ball was on his head, and Godbro took no damage. With that giant spell, it literally did nothing to him at the time. So a good counterplay by the Copenhagen Wolves. They extend their gold lead to 21,000 or to 2,000 gold with the Dragon pickup.
I'd be worried at 21,000 at 15 minutes. We're thinking, damn, is anyone else playing this game?
Arithmetic's not my thing.
We've proven this many, many times over the last few days. It's the tiredness can kill, and sometimes it kills your brains.
Brains, I'm not sure I had any to begin with. Right now, though, a very good positive start for Copenhagen Wolves after losing that first blood. Teleport is available for Extinct, and as long as he hits the right targets with that shockwave, it'll definitely help. And doesn't matter how long it takes, it's one good 5-man shockwave, one inner Pharrell Lord level shockwave that can turn the match on its head.
Youngbuck back in his top lane. Look at the damage, the difference, in terms of CS right now. He's put up a 30 CS advantage here, Godbro, and that equates to, well, it's only a 600 gold difference. Of course, he did get first blood, Youngbuck. Young blood, first blood, fuck young. I'm down with the cool kids, that's what I am.
So he does, of course, have that minor disadvantage. If the CS continues going, it'll work, but there's the gold card.
There's the Destiny coming down. They're going to go towards Youngbuck, and they're going to see if they can lock him up. Does manage to use that ultimate straight out. Extinct comes back in. The shockwave pulls them back. Can they turn this one around? No, they can't. Here comes Svenskeren. He's going to pick up one. Extinct's now going to try and put the damage back on towards Godbro. Tries to put the attack ball in there. Dissonance was not ready, though, and he doesn't pick it up. And Copenhagen Wolves, well, another successful gank for them, 3-1.
That was a very good shockwave from Extinct to pull 2 members of the Wolves back into the fray, but because they simply had a numbers disadvantage and had been collapsed upon first, they weren't able to pick up any kills. So Summoner Teleport is now used from Extinct. It is down, it is not available, and of course another kill going away of the Wolves. It lands in Eve's hands as well, and he has picked a fight with Cotnex.
Svenskeren chasing in on towards Konex. He's going to have a lot of damage going down here. I'm not sure Konex can get away from this one. He's going to be able to dive the turret. He's already used it. There's going to be Stan United, not really required, and they are now all stacked up in that mid lane. Well, he's there, so you may as well push the tower.
Yeah, exactly. You get an assist onto Godbro. He's now 1-1-3. He's picked up a Sheen after his Sunfire Cape. There will be tons of damage coming down from this ninja in the top lane. They pick up their first tower of the game, and it's the mid lane tower that goes down. That is going to open up a lot of opportunities.
The bottom turret, you can see, is already very low as well. The Test is going to take that one down. Chain of Corruption comes out, though. He's going to try and turn it back around on the Test there. It's going to be keeping them away, and, well, Copenhagen Wolves are happy with that. They're 2-0 in turrets now.
Really patient play from the Tess and Deficio. They tanked up the turret a tiny bit. Even though they got caught out by the Chain of Corruption, no box went down, no flashes used, no barriers, and they could see that by Freeze Front Limited's actions and positioning, they weren't throwing themselves at the kill, and that meant they didn't need to blow any of their summoner spells.
Youngbuck putting pressure on the top turret, but Godbro will be joining there, and he will be coming straight up. There's going to be the equalizer, trying to keep that wave at bay, and trying to keep Godbro at bay as well, but it's not going to happen for him. Youngbuck trying to make some plays, trying to force a turret down, but they just falling behind slowly but surely here. 18 minutes gone into this game, and you can see the gold advantage. It's 5,000 now and starting to stretch ever so slowly towards Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, they seem to be making the plays right now. Even though it's only 4 kills on the board for the Wolves, the kills that they've put together have been team-related. They've always used all of their abilities to do so, chained it onto a single target, and made sure that it works. And Svenskeren has been there for every single one of them. We were wondering about the E pick, and we're like, this is either going to work really well or work really badly. And with 3-0-1, I think Sven is making it work well.
Yeah, indeed. And look at the items. He's already got that Sorcerer's Boots. He's got the Leandris well en route right now. He's going to be scary Svenskeren on Evelyn. That basically effectively makes him a double AP build right now for Copenhagen Wolves, as well as a strong AD carry. So they have a problem on their hands, Samurai and Jeans. I'm not too sure how they're going to deal with it. We talked about how important that shockwave will be for Pharrell and Yord yesterday. It's going to be just the same for Extinct today.
It'll be arguably more important because not only will Extinct need to do it in this game, he'll need to do it again in the following match from this. Remember, this is a 2-1 in favor of the Copenhagen Wolves. If the Wolves pick up a victory, they will pick up the win. They caught out Cotnex.
Cotnex stun card goes in, and that's just going to get decimated. Svenskeren effectively uses the drive-by, stunned up, didn't even get a chance to slide away. Couldn't use a single ability there.
No, none at all. He was just stun locked completely. Agony's Embrace was not even used by Svenskeren. He's now picked up that blue buff. That's 3 in a row that they've secured. The True Shot Barrage is going to go. It doesn't manage to connect. Youngbuck realizes he's in trouble, and this is a dead Yordle.
It's a little early, the True Shot Barrage. They're like, yeah, you're going for it. I'm going to fire it off now. Wait a minute. It's like starter's orders, comes across, and that is going to be another kill picked up. And the turret will fall as well. We also see the Tess and Deficio. They're pushing in towards the inner turret right now. The rest of Samurai and Jeans, they are kind of a little bit lost for what to do here. Godbro's going to take down that top turret, and that is 3-0 now. And the gold advantage just keeps on climbing for the Copenhagen Wolves.
You think about that True Shot Barrage and the level of coordination between these players. The communication is just on another plane right now. They knew they were going for the dive, and the Tess is like, hey, I want in on that action. I want an assist from this one. And of course, he can just reduce the cooldown of that True Shot Barrage. Now, Svenskeren's positioning, he's off to the side. He's going to go in. He does have his ultimate. No, it's on cooldown, so he decides just to run away.
Gets a poke on Extinct and does back away straight away from that one. So, we see the Tess. He's going to be running down the bottom. He's going to get himself some free farm down there. That's going to surpass Freeze in farm. Svenskeren, of course, he's going to clear out that wave very quickly. Hasn't gone back to buy yet, so he's still building up towards that Leandris. He may well go for a different item. We've, of course, seen that Twin Shadows from Bjergsen being used already a few times. Has got that Sheen on there as well. Sheen was picked up by Godbro earlier on. Now he's completed his Mercury Treads and got them home guard boots on there as well. So he's going to be coming in very fast and furious with that Stand United if he needs to.
Not only that, take a look at the levels. Regardless of the items, that's a level 14 to 12 in the top lane, level 12 to 10 in the jungle, 14 to 13 in the mid, and then ADs and supports are pretty much 11 to 9 for Deficio. So Unlimited has been falling very far behind on that shared experience, and just in levels alone, that's a good couple of thousand gold in total across the team in additional stats, additional HP, additional attack damage, etc. So it's really, really working well for the Copenhagen Wolves in potentially the last game.
Yeah, 5-0-1. That's what's working well. Svenskeren right now, he's been spotted though, and he's going to get caught out. Stand United comes back out there. Cataclysm was used. True Shot Barrage rattles through there. It's going to be Extinct. They focus on Shockwave, comes out, but the stun carp is already there. That's going to be Extinct going down. He has been removed, and now it's going to be the Tess. He gets knocked up. Sorry, there's going to be I can tell you what it is. Cotnex also, and Liberty, he died. I didn't even see him die. He went that quick, and that is going to be a 3-0. Very quick executed progress there, and while Copenhagen Wolves absolutely decimated, they knew what they were doing. It's not over yet. Youngbuck has to flash away from this one. He can't fight this one. It's going to be an inner turret, the first inner turret of the game going down. The Copenhagen Wolves looking dominant form here.
3-0 after Svenskeren gets caught in the enemy jungle. They jump onto him instantly with a Cataclysm, and the Stand United and Destiny comes out. That entire fight was just the Copenhagen Wolves using that gold advantage they've accrued to perfect precision. There was a great hook from Deficio onto Cottonex's job, and in the midst of all that, held him in place, and once they killed Unlimited, turned back to Cottonex, picked up a kill there, and rolled around to the turrets. So well played by Copenhagen Wolves. That is now a 10,000 gold lead. We have seen that loss before. Will this game be similar?
Check out the stats though. Svenskeren, he's been involved in every single kill. He's got 6 of them, and 3 of them are assists. He's 9-1 up now, the Copenhagen Wolves, or effectively, Svenskeren's 9-1 up.
Yeah, it's the truth. He's been there, he's set the plays, he's been, you know, so omnipresent on the map. With those last kills, he now has a 3-level advantage over his opposite number, Cottonex on Jarvan. And Eve has just been working so incredibly well for them. Every time that they've set up a gank or a fight, Evelyn has been at the right place at the right time. And let me tell you, running in heels like that is pretty difficult.
Well, Lichbane has been completed by Bjergsen. Now Leandrews was also completed by Svenskeren. Athens was picked up by Extinct, but honestly, it's a little bit late for him. He's chasing this one down. Deficio is going to get caught out. Cataclysm used just to lock down that support. He did have an Oracle on him, so it was an important kill. And actually, 4 assists for that one. They may well think about going towards Baron here. That would be suicide.
So they do take away the Oracle's Elixir. That is a 400 gold, you know, cost that they've managed to pick up. But look at the items on Deficio. The Ruby Sightstone, Philosopher's Stone, as well as an Emblem of Valor. In comparison, his opposite number only has a Ruby Crystal. Lulu is literally an ability bot. There's nothing else that she's offering a team, because every little ounce of gold that has been farmed up has been spent on wards and vision wards.
Oh, as Freeze is going to get caught out here, there's going to be the ghouls thrown straight at him. He does manage to flash away from that one, but and it's going to be another case of Freeze backing away, not being able to pick up any gold while the Tess continues a farming spree. And now the bottom wave is going to start getting pushed in. They ping down. It's Svenskeren saying, I'm ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. I want more kills.
So Stand United is up for God, bro, and that's the telling point that a fight could break out. You will see Svenskeren happily diving a tower with that Giant's belt in his back pocket, as well as that massive shield that he's going to get from his ultimate and from Stand United. It's practically going to be impossible to kill. And I do not believe that the Samurai and Jeans have had a single blue buff since that very, very first one. I think Svenskeren and the rest of the Wolves have stolen away every single consecutive blue buff, which would make this the 4th steal of the game so far.
Where is the Destiny going to go? It's going in towards Konex. It lands on towards him. Meanwhile, the top lane actually is being pushed in. There's going to be another stun card. Bjergsen may well be able to solo this one down. The Shockwave comes in. He flashes the Shockwave, gets the stun card once again, and the hook comes in. Bjergsen manages to take him down. Now they're going to turn on towards Unlimited. He's going to get dropped. As you mentioned, he's only got a Ruby Crystal. No wonder he's dropping so quick. Chain of Corruption does land. Deficio finally goes down. The Test may go down here as well. Samurai and Jeans turning the kills around. While this is all happening, they are losing their inhibitor turret. They're going to get Godbro down, but there you go. The teleport comes out. He's going to be coming in towards it. He's going to save out the inhibitor. No, he cancelled the teleport. Svenskeren goes back in. He's going to take the turret down.
Take a look at the laser. It's just destroying it right now. Inhibitor turret is down. It will be dropped by Svenskeren. He's going to be able to pop that frenzy and get out of there. 1 or 2 more hits.
Oh.
It is a breath of fresh air. We'll take that one down. And it will drop the next time they decide to push him. But that fight went fantastically well for Samurai and Jeans. They pick up 4 for 1 during the course of that trade. And just superior positioning in the jungle. Copenhagen Wolves went in practically 1 by 1 by 1 into the damage of the Samurais.
So a lot of gold being picked up by Samurai and Jeans, and it was important gold because they're 11,000 behind right now. 5-0 in turrets. They need every little win they can get. And that was a pretty big one. Now we're seeing Youngbuck. He's going to get closed in on. We're going to see Destiny. He's actually trying to get close enough to fight this one. We are going to see him coming down. Stun cards in there. Wild card finishes him off. Svenskeren will get the kill. No, Bjergsen takes it.
So Bjergsen secures himself his 3rd kill of the game. 317, 10 of the 13 kills Bjergsen has been involved in. And with that Lichbane, he's just going to be so much more damage. And take a look at that. Nizi Lodge Rod collected and picked up. The 4,000 gold advantage over Extinct's Orianna. That is a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, Svenskeren also over Kotenex has that big, big lead, and it's working out so well for him. And the fact the levels you've been talking about, they're now 3 levels ahead of him. Bjergsen 1 level over the Test. You can see he's got a level over him. Deficio, he had around about 3,000 gold, I believe, when I quickly caught a glimpse of that one over Unlimited as well. Huge numbers there, and it is the Copenhagen Wolves that are taking every single advantage. No shock there because he's had that Philo Stone very early on, and he obviously had the Ruby Sightstone in there for a long time as well. Sightstone finally completed by Unlimited, but that was only just now.
Yeah, it's very late. And, you know, Freeze and Unlimited have actually been doing very well this game. They haven't been focused by any members of the Copenhagen Wolves, so there hasn't been any Destiny ganks or even really much participation from Svenskeren in that lane. So they're keeping up in CS. They didn't lose to the Tess and Deficio outright, but because of Svenskeren's ganks, it's the mid and top lane that are suffering so incredibly badly. 28 minutes on the clock, and that dragon just gets destroyed. Svenskeren has got that Riley's Crystal Scepter as well as that Leandri's Torment and that Spirit Elder Lizard Spirit, that item, and it's just working so well for him right now.
That pesky item that we can never get the name of right. You do see Youngbuck going to clear out that wave. He's got Konex with him. They are all chasing experience, all chasing gold, trying to get them levels desperately on them, but Konex continues to be 3 levels behind and chasing out Svenskeren every single time. We do see Godbro, he heading down the bottom lane. He's going to keep that split push going, and Copenhagen Wolves, they are teasing the Baron fight.
Well, they're going to have the vision superiority with those pink wards in addition to that Oracle's Elixir, and of course and the fact that Stand United is available, he can join at a moment's notice. Godbro has that Trinity Force completed, has had that for a little while now, and that just makes his split pushing all the more effective. The attack damage, the movement speed, along with the Sunfire Cape, just a very powerful combination of items that just going to keep at least one member of Samurai's in jeans down there, and it's most likely going to be extinct because he's the one of the teleports.
Yeah, there's only his Hourglass. The fact that that was picked up by Bjergsen is going to make him so lethal in the fights. The fact because he tends to be the one that goes in. Let's see Messiah-style Twisted Fates coming out from Bjergsen, going straight in there and popping that Zhonya, see if you can bait some of those spells in there. Maybe bait the ball from Extinct.
And to be very analytical, in game number 2, this is the 3rd time we've actually seen Twisted Fate for Bjergsen out of these 4-game series. In the 2nd game that he played it, he had a couple questionable destinies, going a little bit too aggressive and actually, you know, giving away kills that maybe he shouldn't have. So it's working out for him in this game, and I think that's partially due to the fact that Svenskeren is so incredibly fed. They're just going to steal away another buff, take that one away, and it's complete control now for the Wolves.
The little ghouls chasing down Extinct and slowing him just as he tries to back away. Even the golems were being contested by Bjergsen there. We do see, of course, the teleport coming out. Yeah, Twin Shadows picked up by Youngbuck a while ago. He's trying to get towards that Leandras as well. Maybe going to get the Rider's Crystal Staff, but it is going to be the Baron being started off here. Oh, they've just spotted Unlimited actually just off the side. He's walked past the ward. They ping down on towards him. And I think Svenskeren, he wants to sneak around on this one.
So we'll see if they can take those wards out quickly. Destiny has been used. Destiny's going in. They're going to catch Unlimited.
It is going to be Unlimited. They go for Stand United also coming out. They're going to go straight across. Shadow Dash on towards him. Locks up Unlimited. There's going to be a great shockwave. Is he going to turn it back around here? Samurai Jeans, they may well get some kills, but they can't get quite close enough. And there's going to be a great Shadow Dash. That's going to lock another one down. Godbro takes his 2nd kill. Now they're chasing on towards Freeze. Freeze can't get away from this one. One more shot from the test. Will he Arcane Shift for it? No. It is going to be Extinct that they're now going to chase down. Unlimited did get dropped. And, well, Extinct, you're not going to be able to escape this one, son. No way you can avoid it. He does manage to get that ball out. The wild card's not going to quite catch. One more Shadow Dash. Will he be able to get a kill from it? No. Bjergsen manages to get him shut down. And Godbro picks up yet another kill there. Great fight.
Godbro is godlike with those Shadow Dash taunts. He hit 3 consecutive dashes during the course of that single engagement and is literally the determining factor in who is winning those fights. Svenskeren was forced out so early on. He took a lot of damage from that particular early engagement, and of course because Godbro locked up members of Samurai and Jeans, they won the engagement, picked up the kills, and secured a Baron.
It's 17-6 to the Copenhagen Wolves. Could they be the first team to retain their place in the LCS? We've already seen Alternate and Sinners Never Sleep sneaking through, knocking out many LCS teams, and now we're seeing Bjergsen going down on towards Freeze. Freeze absolutely unstoppable. We can't do anything with do that, but in fact, Bjergsen backed away.
So Bjergsen decided he didn't want to stick around under the turret. He wasn't 100% sure where the rest of the players were.
He had Twin Shadows. He didn't even bother.
If you look at ward coverage, he couldn't see the rest of the jungle. So
he's also running.
Good point. Good point.
You can see everyone. It's just like, I'm going to let you go. He's like...
Maybe it's a psychological
He actually
thing.
just thought, looked at him and went, you're not really worth the goal. You're not worth my time.
Maybe you just, yeah, maybe it's just a psychological play. Maybe it's just like, look, I could kill you. I'm not going to.
I could kill you.
I could kill you.
It's like a cat toy with a fish.
Remember this. Remember this for next time. I could take you out, but this was almost the day you got away from me. 17-6. This is Copenhagen Wolves' game to lose. They look like they will be guaranteeing themselves that position in the summer split, something that many, many people were hoping for. And Samurai and Jeans, can they get that magical shockwave to bring them back into this game?
It's going to have to be a pretty damn impressive shockwave. They're 17,000 gold behind. This isn't anywhere near as close as Alternate were to Giants when they managed to pull off that miracle shockwave. It was around about 10,000 gold at that point, and this time, it doesn't look like Copenhagen Wolves are going to be too bothered about pushing in towards that base. They're keeping the pressure on every part of the map. Sven Skeren is sat ready and waiting. Oh, and Limited's going to go straight in towards him. We're not even going to get a chance to see him because he might die before he walks in. He caught the pink ward down just in time.
Yeah, take a look at the fight in the bottom lane. Youngbuck has just been pressured so hard by Godbro.
Well, are we going to see the Twin Shadows going to go poking out there? Immediately we got the test coming in towards him, and it's going to be on towards the turret they go. Bjergsen gets in there. He's in with Sven Skeren. They take down the first inhibitor turret of the game. Hit and run.
And now in the bottom lane, they pick up another turret on that bottom inner. So now they're going to be moving on to the inhibitor turrets. There's only 4 turrets left in the game. 4 turrets. The nexus is all that stands between Copenhagen Wolves and that spot in the LCS again, guaranteeing their jobs. And it's just about the split push. The Wolves are playing the map and the lanes.
Samurai and Jeans don't know where to go. You can see them on the mini-map. They're going up and down. They don't know which lyric to defend. It is going to be the exposed inhibitor they're going to work towards now that they've taken that turret down. They feel they've got the presence. They can push in. They've got the Baron buff on them still, and they could go in. They're not going to see the locked-up mana card. Instead, it's going to be for Bjergsen there, and they're going to see slowly but surely they are poking that inhibitor. It is going to go down.
And every single time a Mystic shot lands from the test, it's just going to give that little slow area on the ground that's going to give them that complete zone control. They pick up the top lane inhibitor for free, but the pressure is not over. Baron has about 30 seconds left. They've caught Youngbuck, but they're not going to dive in, and the rest of the Wolves are now going to siege up onto this middle lane.
Look, they've seen that shockwave, and just did you see the damage on the test there? They're still cautious of that damage that could come out from Extinct. One shockwave landed nicely on the test, could probably melt him in one straight shot.
Yeah, he's built very, fairly squishy. He's got a fair chunk of armor, and that's obviously not going to protect you against the damage that Extinct and Youngbuck are putting down. Right now, they are still maintaining this siege. They are holding on to this power position where they continue pressing, and we would have guessed Shen is split pushing in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Godbro keeping the pressure down. He's got that Trinity Force completed, of course. There's going to be the Twin Shadows going out. It's going to land on towards Unlimited, though. They're not going to pick up the kill this time, but they can see they're continuing to keep that pressure on both lanes.
And all of this started from Godbro in the bottom lane. He was alone there. He was pushing the tower. Now, Copenhagen Wolves have got minions up to this inhibitor turret. Gold card is primed. It's about to time out for Bjergsen. If Samurai and Jeans don't go soon, they may never get the chance to go.
It's Godbro. He keeps going, and they're trying to bait out the shockwave. They're trying to see if they can get it used up without using any abilities. The Baron buff has worn out, though. They are going to all back off and buy, spend up a lot of that chunk of gold they've got. Bjergsen will take down the red buff. The rest of the team do back away, and they do give it to the test there. So what will they come back with? Of course, he's still got the double Doran's blades on there, Doran's rings on him, so he could just sell them out and buy something outright.
Yeah, so he'll probably be working towards that as soon as they pick up this dragon. And we will see Bjergsen backing off to spend some of that money very, very shortly. This is a very, very one-sided game right now. The goal difference, the map presence, the super minions in the top lane. You have to feel that Copenhagen Wolves will play this one by the numbers. They'll probably work themselves into a position where they get the next Baron and then try to push for the win.
I don't know why, but I thought you said the stupid minions in the top lane. Those stupid minions in the top lane, they're pushing in. The super minions in the top lane, of course, what you said. So, Extinct is now in trouble because he is really the only saving grace currently for Samurai and Jeans. He has to make the ball land in the goal. It has to take that shockwave. It can't be a mere wave. It can't be. And there is all the flashes available right now for the Copenhagen Wolves. They need to try and bait those flashes out. They need to try and make some sort of play. Cotenex is definitely chasing on the levels here. He's still 3 levels behind. You can see Sven Skeren already at 18. Cotenex still at 15. Extinct is closing in. He's going to be hitting 18 shortly. Freeze has already got there. The supports, though, look at that. Level 12 Unlimited. He's just going to get melted if he gets caught out there. Youngbuck taking some poke poke in the back there from Svenskeren. Does just get that shield going off from himself. The ball, of course, defensively coming out from Extinct as well. Stops that wave once again. Will the hooks land? Will the stun cards go through?
Look at
the
that.
Limited. Oh, my word. Trisha Barrage has to flash out.
Now there goes the equalizer down. There's the fight.
Equalizer goes in, Youngbuck taken down, he's going to get hooked in, and everybody will follow through. Shockwave isn't really going to be critical enough. Konex does go down, and now the Copenhagen Wolves push on through there. Svenskeren, it's like a roadkill dive through there. There's going to be the ultimate coming out. They're going to lock on towards Freeze. Freeze is going to go down. The Copenhagen Wolves are going to get through to the LCS. They are going to retain their position. They will be the 7th team to reach through. They are going to just take down anything they want. The top inhibitor is exposed. They could just wipe out everything they want here. They're just going to keep those super minions pushing in. They have a 30-second timer to take these Nexus turrets down. It's not going to be a problem.
The Copenhagen Wolves have done it. They are the first LCS team to hold on to that position, to make sure they come back in the summer split. There are thousands of viewers around the world sighing a breath of relief. Everyone's favorite underdogs are back in the league, and they won that final game in convincing fashion. Copenhagen Wolves, what a game. Twisted Fate was the way to do it.
Fantastic performance. So 3-1 for the Copenhagen Wolves. The breath of relief, I think, for the players there. Actually, I did see Bjergsen between the game. He just said, one more game. That's all we need, one more game. If they were feeling confident, and well, they got the picks they wanted this time around, and you got to give it to Samurai and Jeans. Anyone else, I feel they may well have taken them down, but they came against really the 5th place team in the LCS, and a team that's taken the likes of Gambit, the likes of Fnatic, the likes of Evil Geniuses and SK to the limit, and they really performed very well when they needed to keep in the LCS.
And you've got to give props to the Samurai and Jeans. They are standing there with smiles on their faces after the game. Even after being taken out of the league, after trying to make it, they still have the presence of mind to, you know, walk up there. And the Wolves, they just look relieved. The pressure is off. They are there for the second split.
Look at Godbro's face. He's just like, so happy right now. So happy.
There's the smiles. There's the smiles. Reviewing the game, talking about the awesome moments, talking about what worked, what didn't work. And a rare smile there from Bjergsen. He does tend to be the picture of composure whenever he's on stage.
And they are absolutely delighted, of course, to be in there. So, to take us through that game, you can see Bjergsen, there he is. He was the youngest member to get in the LCS. He won't be. That title's going to get taken away from him because there is a younger man coming through sooner than that. It will be for the summer split, though. We're going to go over to Joe Miller and Jason Kaplan to take us through that awesome game. And look at the smiles across everyone's face. I think everybody watching will be happy for them.
Yeah, I think you're totally right there, Demon. Happy for a team that went 0 for 9 at the start of the spring split. And they're here. They're going to be there. I say they're here. Well, of course they're here, but they're going to be there, which is the most important point in the summer split as well. Hopefully for them, it doesn't start off quite as ropey next time around, but you have to be happy for them, even from a completely neutral point of view. A team that started off so badly in terms of record. Their play wasn't that bad, even though they did lose those 9 games on the bounce. But the way that they actually played in that second half of the season was just really good. Samurai and Jeans were, in my opinion at least, and I think you share the same one, the strongest team to come through from the Challenger games in the entire bracket.
Yeah, we saw in the games versus the Nexus yesterday just how tough they were. I mean, Youngbuck on that Shen just dominated the entire game. They 2-0'd them, the only 2-0 we actually had in the entire best-of-3 series. But, you know, Wolves, I mean, they had to watch that and been like, oh, we actually need to worry about this a little bit kind of thing. But then again, like every other LCS team, they've had 11 weeks of practice in LCS training against these top teams, and they're the first team to really show that that practice really helped out, and they're, you know, securing their spot yet again in the summer split. And we have to give, you know, credit to everyone, because you mentioned, like, beginning of the split, they were terrible. I mean, it's the other way to really say it, unfortunately, for them.
Well, I don't agree with you. I don't think they were terrible in those 0-9. Their results were terrible.
Yeah.
But they did have some very close games. Of course, it was the addition of Bjergsen, which really set things apart for them, which totally changed the mindset, it seemed, and just the way that everyone was gelling together. It was a different team that came, you know, from one week to the next year in the LCS with Bjergsen.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. I mean, I actually remember, if I cast my mind back 12 weeks now, about like they would actually be winning most of the games, but then lose it towards the end. But, you know,
exactly.
But the point I was going to was that Godbro, Svenskar, and the Test, Deficio, I mean, you saw how each and every one of them has stepped up ever since Bjergsen's been in the team and become just like 2 times, if not more, better for their entire team. I mean, Godbro, like, you know, not a couple weeks, at least like 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were just like, you know, he hasn't really done much for the team, but these past couple of weeks, he's really stepped up. His Shen has been phenomenal. His Singe has been great. He's really been the big playmaker for the team, not to mention Svenskar in that game. Evelyn, first time ever seen him on it.
Yeah, not just in that game. Svenskar has been another player that's really come out of his shell, that's performed amazingly well in the second half of the spring split. I mean, if we think back to him, he wasn't. I mean, we always knew he was a good jungler. We always knew that. But he never really brought his A game when it really counted. Obviously, they were 0 for 9, so it's hard to really think back and look at those performances where that happened. But this second half, and today in particular, that Evelyn ended, what, 8-0-9 in the end, coming out of the jungle there with Evelyn. We've seen great Jarvan play, we've seen great Xin play, we've seen great Cho'Gath play from him over the course of the season. And this team is going to continue to get better. But we've got no replays for you for that one. It was a lot about individual picking off Twisted Fate, Evelyn, that kind of thing, just ganging up all of a sudden. Oh, I'm dead, I've got caught out here. But we are going to vote for an MVP. Now, this one is a bit of a different one, because it's not just an MVP for this one, it's also, for me at least, a bit of an MVP of the season for the Copenhagen Wolves, because it has been the case. And that man, of course, is Bjergsen. Fantastic performance here once again today. This game finishing 6-1-10 on that Twisted Fate. We've seen him playing amazingly well with Kha'Zix earlier on. Didn't die in the last game, actually, with that Kha'Zix. But it's been a real season effort, I think. Once Bjergsen turned 17, that magic day hit, and then he came into the LCS the weekend afterwards. Copenhagen Wolves have been a better team. And to me, if Bjergsen hadn't have come in this team, the Copenhagen Wolves wouldn't be here now.
Yeah, and I know there's some people on Twitter out there watching that are just, you know, upset that we don't, you know, give MVP to other players on the Copenhagen Wolves more often. But, you know, it's just the facts that Bjergsen, you saw him in the last game of that Kha'Zix. If he didn't get those 2 kills top lane, if he didn't split push, if he didn't keep applying that pressure everywhere, they wouldn't have won that game. I mean, yeah, Godbro played a great game. The Test played a great game. Svenskar played a great game. But the fact is,
Deficio. Don't forget the support.
He did all right.
You can't forget the support. The support always gets forgotten. But no, I see your point here, and that is, yes, we've pointed Bjergsen, and I wanted to a little bit extra as well because of the season, the impact that he's had coming into the LCS. And I think if there was a kind of awards around this season, I think he'd definitely be scooping a few of them.
You know, to me, he's okay. So if we always talk about snowball in a game. To me, he's the guy that packs the snowball initially, then rolls it down a hill, because he always gets the snowball starting for the team. Like, he gets like a first kill, like he will win his lane, or he'll win another lane for you. And then that way he just helps his team, you know, just helps every individual person snowball. So that's why to me he's like MVP. And not to mention, like you said, I mean, coming into the team and creating, you know, this really like force to reckon with team.
Well, we're going to hit the main stage where Shox is going to be waiting with the entire team of the Copenhagen Wolves, who will be joining us for the LCS Summer Split.
Absolutely. The Copenhagen Wolves, congratulations. The first of the LCS teams that manages to keep their spot. Bjergsen, what's going through your mind?
I'm really happy right now. We knew that Samurais and Jeans were one of the stronger challenger teams going into this promotion. And when we knew that we were going to face them, we were not exactly nervous, but we thought we could have an easier bracket, but still we managed to pull through, so I'm really happy.
You started off strong, and then the TF pick kind of came back not so good because they were countered by Fizz. So next game, what was the strategy not to let that happen?
We didn't want to pick Fizz or Twisted Fate as early as we did. I don't really think it was a counter pick. It was more 2 big mistakes that got Fizz snowballing, and then I couldn't do much to him. The laning phase went fine. I had about the same farm. We went 1 for 1 in the beginning where I got first blood, so I was still ahead in gold. But we just made 2 mistakes, and we couldn't touch Fizz anymore.
You had a roller coaster of a year. Of course, you weren't there in Warsaw. Then you joined the team when they were behind, and now you had to face relegation. Can you pick us a favorite moment for you and the team?
I'm pretty sure all our favorite moment is when we won against EG in Lille. It was the biggest experience I've had with esports. People were like bowing for us, yelling. It was crazy. There were so many people. It was just awesome. It was awesome.
And now you get to live your dream. And people have been saying, if Bjergsen keeps playing like this, he's going to be the best mid in the world. How do you handle that pressure?
I'm not really much for pressure. I just want to play my game, and then I don't really care if I like, as long as I feel like I do okay, I don't really care about the pressure. But I believe I can become one of the best.
And the rest of your team, everyone has stepped up. Some kind words for them, of course, as well. And I have to ask, Defisho, is there anything you want to say to Bjergsen?
Thank you, Bjergsen.
No, but I think the whole team performed very well here today, as in the rest of the LCS, and you will in the summer season as well, I'm sure. Congratulations, you guys. Give it up for the Copenhagen Wolves, you guys. All right, now up next, in the qualifiers, Meet Your Makers earned their chance at revenge against a team that kept them out of the spring split of the LCS. Will the Dragonborns dash MYM's dreams of playing pro yet again? We'll find out right after this break.